Good morning and welcome to the Elquick hosted webinar for RetroTech. My name is Charlotte Bramley and I am the Events and Relationships Manager here at Elquick, but I'm only here for the introduction. Before that, I would like to say a few words about the format. On screen, you will see information on how to add a message and also how to add a question. To add a message, please use the green message icon on the right-hand side, and to add a question, please use the blue question mark icon. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation to go through some of the questions received. Finally, you are able to update your status quickly and easily, whether this is to agree with something the presenter has said or if you need any help. Now that I have gone through all instructions, I'm going to hand over to your presenter, Mike Wilson.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can indeed.
Okay, good. Sorry, I couldn't see if we could. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on developments in survey data to prioritise road marking maintenance spend. We're going to spend a little bit of time just talking to you about the safety context for road marking maintenance, cost increases that we've seen in road markings, and why obviously that makes planning maintenance so much more important these days, and through some of the changes in CS 126 requirements, and how to do surveys, and what some of the latest technology is for developing and collecting information on roads and road assets, including some examples there, and some of the future trends that we see in the market as well, and some of the things that we've been working on. So just to start off with a little bit of context, the UK road traffic statistics has been steadily increasing the amount of traffic on the roads up until COVID, obviously, which created a downturn. But as we can see, it was steadily increasing, and that highlights the need for well-maintained roads, especially for road safety. As we can see, those figures are now increasing. There's been a big drop, but it'll be interesting to see where we end up in 2020 to 2022, probably back to where we were. And there are some 328 billion road miles travelled on UK roads in 2018. So there's a lot of travel that's, as we can see, a lot of vehicles that our roads have to cope with. It's interesting to note that 81% of all road traffic is on A and B roads, and many of those are obviously owned by local authorities. And that highlights the importance again of road safety, and in particular of road markings for guiding traffic and for that safety element. We've all been on roads where the markings have worn away, and it can be very disconcerting to say the least, particularly if the stop line's not there and it's difficult to see who's got priority. We can also see from these figures that HGVs have actually increased since the pandemic on our roads. Perhaps that's not so surprising with the growth of home shopping, and it's likely to stay, in my opinion anyway. I don't think we're going to suddenly all rush back to the shops. So I think HGV traffic will continue to increase. And importantly, then, if we look at KSIs killed and seriously injured on our roads, that has decreased a little bit in the UK since 2020 into 2021, but we are still ahead of some of our international comparisons into other countries. So we do have an area that that we can improve on road safety, that's for sure. So road markings are an integral part of road safety and a way of improving our statistics there, and obviously improving the lives of our drivers. So what is the case for good quality road markings? There's been numerous research reports and studies that have concluded that the quality of road markings has a measurable impact on road safety. In particularly, nighttime visibility of road markings reduces the number of road traffic accidents and the severity of those road traffic accidents. We've all driven down roads where it's at night time, particularly in the wet, when the lines disappear, and it's hard to know where you're going, basically. So it's important that the road markings are up to standard, and that we have a way of measuring those. There are legal requirements for traffic routes to be able to indicate where it's necessary for health and safety, such as stop bars and so on, and directions. And perhaps there's potential for litigation against roads authorities if the road marking is not there and this leads to an accident. This is something which, increasingly we hear being talked about as a need for making sure that road markings are where they should be. Also, the introduction of advanced driver assistance systems on all vehicles is going to be standard by 2025. And these systems depend on good quality road markings for lane keeping assist, for example. And also, as we've already mentioned, the CS126 is updated with specific requirements for inspection assessment of road markings and studs. So all of these lead to a case for, the good quality road markings are required for safety and so on, and that we need to have a way of understanding what the quality of the markings are on our roads. So as we say, future trends in autonomous vehicles, the OEMs for vehicles are putting more and more of these systems on cars. And as we've seen for 2025, they have to be there. But they do rely on good quality visible road markings in dry and wet conditions in order for them to be able to work, in order for them to be able to work effectively. If the car can't see the line, then it can't use its advanced systems. And this is borne out by some of the comments from some of the leading CEOs of leading car manufacturers. For example, Volvo's CEO in North America said he can't find the lane markings when he was driving with the mayor of one city, and we need to paint the bloody roads here. So clear examples that these vehicles and the motor manufacturers are looking for good quality lines. Tesla calls the faded line markings crazy, Elon Musk. So it's confusing their automated systems. If the lane fades, all hell breaks loose. So that's from Carnegie Mellon University research. So we can see that it really is important that the quality of lines is there, and that and that we maintain those lines in the correct way. So we mentioned also about National Highway Standard CS126. That was revised in 2020, and it demands more stringent visual inspection of road markings and road studs, which means that there's more onus on us to actually take these measurements and visual inspect the lines as we're going around. The three key areas that road authorities need to be aware of, and that's the concerns over critical areas that are a risk to road users. So, for example, central road markings, symbols that are either telling you to stop, slow down, or are directional, telling you which way to go when you're driving down the road. And the revised standard has also introduced a requirement to assess the condition across the full width of the road marking. So if it's greater than 150 millimeters, you need to have, not just a test radius of less than around 50 millimeters in the center, but across the whole of the line. So again, that's important, an important distinction in being able to do that. And there are more stringent requirements on the visual inspection of road markings and road studs. It's creating significant data analysis and reporting requirements. And these are some of the things that we believe technology can help to meet these requirements, and also to meet the requirements for improved road marking quality, and understanding what is on the roads and what needs to be done, what needs to be maintained. So technology such as the RetroTech system can help meet these requirements. So when you're driving down the road and we need to assess these assets, what is it that we need to cover? We need to cover the left lane line, the RPMs, road studs on the left, center lane markings, and of course the right RPMs and the right lane line. So if you're driving down the road and you're surveying this road, you need to be able to measure all of those elements to give a true picture of what's actually happening on that particular road in each particular section of that road. But how do you do that? There are different types of retroreflectometer system available on the market. Everyone will be probably aware of the handheld systems, which allow you to do a sample, basically to do a snapshot over a particular spell. You need to close off the road to be able to do that and to get an accurate reading. But it gives you an indication of what's happening at a particular point, but not over the whole of the stretch of road. Then, of course, to overcome that, you can have a mobile system. And there are different systems available. For example, the side-mounted system. So that's mounted at the side of a vehicle. And what that does, it can measure just the line and on one side of the road at a time, as we'll see in a moment. So you can, to do a whole lane that we were just looking at, you would need to go up that road twice, and you wouldn't get the center lane marking at any time. And then you have a front-mounted system like the Retrotech system, which can cover the whole of the lane in one pass, making it much more efficient and giving you all of the data that's required to meet these requirements and to be able to understand the quality of the lines that are on the road and where the maintenance is necessary. So to show that in sort of pictorially, if you like, so on the left is a system that's mounted on the front, like the Retrotech system. And as you can see, we're measuring all of the assets in that lane in one pass. So we're measuring up to 5 road assets. So the left lane line, the road studs, the center lane marking, the arrow in this case, and then the right lane and the right road studs. So you're getting a complete picture of what's happening in that lane in one pass of the road. If you compare that to the picture on the right, which is a one-sided lane measurement system, so it's mounted on the side of the vehicle, that is measuring, just as you can see, just the one lane line and the road stud, absence or presence of the road stud, but not the center lane marking or the right-hand lane in this case. And also you tend to have to drive a little closer to the line to make sure that you're getting the line, whereas without the Retrotech system, you drive down the center of the line and off you go. You drive just normally, so there's no traffic management required. The driver just drives, in the normal lane. So what we have on our website, we have the ability to some calculators which show you the kind of savings that can be made by surveying the roads, by actually surveying and looking for what markings are going to pass. So I'm just going to stop that share, and I'm going to share another screen to show you how this calculator actually works. So hopefully you can see that now. So this is our calculator that's looking at how surveying a road can help you save money, basically, on your budget, road marking budget, and help you to allocate that budget more effectively. So we can change all of these figures so to whatever suits your particular road network or area that you're looking at. So if we say 3,000 miles, for example, the number of lanes, 3 lanes. And
sorry, Mike, I don't think you've switched to the live calculator.
I have, yeah. Can you not see it?
I can't see it anyway. Can anybody else see it?
Okay, I'll go back to the.
No, we're seeing the presentation actually, Mike, rather than.
Oh, okay, sorry,
yeah.
That doesn't seem to be working. I'll go, but just stay with the presentation then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see it now? You can see the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry about that. Yeah. So what I was actually doing is I was changing some of the data in this calculator to show how it works live. But basically, you can fill in these different elements on the calculator to meet your own requirements or your own level of costs and survey costs, for example, and it'll show you how much it will cost to reline or restripe that whole of that network. In this case, it's showing 39,000 kilometers, which is why I was trying to change it, which 13.6 million euros in this particular case. As I say, you can convert this on the website into pounds or any currency, and also shows you the survey costs for that particular stretch. Yeah, but the second calculator is just showing the savings that can be made using the Retrotech system compared to a side-mounted system. which shows that because we're measuring the whole lane in one pass rather than having to measure twice, with a side-mounted system, for example, we're making considerable savings. In this particular instance, 115,000 euro saving on the survey costs because we can do the whole lane in one go, which makes it obviously a very cost-effective system to operate, to use for surveys, and and from a purchase point of view. What we spent a lot of time on with our system is ways to present the data, present the information so that it's easily viewable and easily understandable what's actually happening. So this is a picture of the screen from our software, our QuickView Pro software it's called. As you can see down here, we've got on the left, we've got a list of all the surveys that have been done. And what you do is you can click on any one of these and it will automatically load the map in the center with the colored strip, as you can see, on the section of road which has been studied, and it's color coordinated to show the areas that have passed or failed within that particular road. So you can click on any one of these sections and it will automatically zoom into that section to give you a closer look. It will automatically load the results at the top here on the top right, showing you exactly what was happening when the survey was taken, the time, the temperature, and so on. So you've got all of the information available there. And it shows you the video of that particular section. So you can actually see what was happening, what the driver was seeing, what's actually happening on the road. So it gives you a clear indication of what's happening there at that particular point in time. So it's very simple to use, but it gives you a real visualization of any section of that road you can click on and you can find out what was happening. As you can see, we have this DNA strip at the bottom right hand side, which shows you, exactly the areas which have failed or passed and so on, again, which you can click onto. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this video of the software, which shows you that in operation. So as you can see, we're clicking on a section on one of the surveys. It's automatically loading the map. We're zooming in to a particular area. The video is changing to that particular section of road. And at the top right, you're getting the results, green being passed, red being failed in this particular case, depending on the thresholds that are being put in. As you can see there's a lot of red, so it's failed. And when we look at the video, you can't see the line markings hardly. So we know that there's a problem in that area. We know that the markings need to be maintained, need to be upgraded in that section because we can't see them. And obviously from a safety point of view, road safety point of view, that's needs to be addressed. So you can see that as it runs through, the video changes and you can see exactly what's happening at each individual point in that particular road. As you can see now, it's looking at the different section, different lines, so it's picking out left line or right line, and the results, zooming in and so on. So it's a very easy system to use, but highly effective at visualizing what's happening on the road and giving you the information that you require in order to be able to assess the road condition. As we're driving down the road, this is a view from the operator's screen. It shows you, so you can see what's being picked up, how it's picking up the left lane here. It'll also pick up the hatchings, the center marking, the arrow, and the right lane. And the driver can see that the readings are being picked up. So the left RL is 105 in this particular case. The width of the line, 14.5. Contrast is the day contrast ratio. So that's the contrast between the line and the road surface if you're measuring in the daytime. So it shows you the brightness of the line effectively, which is very important for the autonomous or assisted driving systems. And it shows you how many RPMs are in that particular section of road as well, for the left lane and the right lane. And then at the bottom, we've got exceptions, if you like. So if the driver is coming to a work zone, or has had to, it's dirty or it's wet, you can press this button and it automatically records that, so that that if you get some data which is a bit of an anomaly, you can see why that was and what's actually happened on the road. So to discount that or to resurvey that particular area. And within our system as well, this is the screen again, you can see we automatically detect the type of lines. So we automatically detect and record whether it's a single line, a double line, a continuous line, or interrupted line, and so on. And we also automatically detect whether it's white or yellow. So all the information is being detected automatically without the driver or the surveyor having to do anything. So it's very safe, it's very accurate, and it's giving you all the information that you require once we come to the results, as we've seen. So we're collecting all of the assets, all of the data that you need to be able to do a full assessment of the road markings on your road. So we're getting the nighttime visibility of the RL, the retroreflectivity of all road markings, and we're getting that whether you're surveying at day or night. So you can survey in both times of day. We're getting the RL of the right and the left edge, the center lane markings, and the symbols in the center of the lane, which is unique, and other systems, for example, the side-mounted systems, can't do that. And it allows you to build a picture of what's actually on the roads and how they're performing. We're getting the presence or absence of road studs. So if any of them have come off, for example, or are missing, you get an instant count. You can see where the problem areas may be or where they may need replacing. You're also getting the line width. So you're getting that information so you can make sure that the line has been put down to the width that's required. The day contrast ratio, as we said, when you're surveying the daylight, so you're getting this ratio between the line and the surface. And we're indicating, automatically detecting whether it's a single or double line, a skip or continuous line, white or yellow. And we're getting the individual RL for each of the lines in the double line. So we're not aggregating it. You can get the individual RL, so you know exactly what's happening to those lines. And all the measurements are GPS tagged with map and video images, so as you've seen from the software. So you can see, you can tie it all together. You can look at the results, but you can also see what's happening at the same time on that particular road. And obviously, we're getting the road name and number and the temperature and humidity, so you can make sure that that those were correct. So our QuickView Pro system, its outputs are files in CSV format, so the actual data itself. We can build a PDF report and a map, as you can see here. This is a PDF report. So we can tailor this to what you want to have on this particular report. And using Google Maps, it gives you the map, so you can see exactly where the section is that's been surveyed, and this sort of color coordination, so you can see the areas which are good, bad, or indifferent. And as we say, we've got the video file, so you can see exactly what was happening at any particular point. We're able to batch process surveys, so if you do a number of surveys, in a period of time, you can process them all at once. It's very quick to process, and we can, to a certain level, we can put them into your own format that you require. So it's a very simple system to use. It's very quick to download the files and the data, and to input them into our QuickView Pro reporting, so you get this complete picture of the system. So we believe it's the most advanced system in terms of helping you with road marking maintenance and understanding what's happening on the roads and where the issues are, and being able to target road maintenance into those specific areas that are required. But we're not resting there. I mean, we're always looking at how we can improve the system and where the future of the industry is going and where the future requirements may be going. So we're working on other features that can be added to the system. For example, looking at the nighttime color measurement of lines, looking at if the yellow falls is the right color at nighttime and at daytime, for example. And correlating that to European or ASTM standards, depending on where we are in the world. We've also been working on artificial intelligence projects with Intel, for example, looking at how we can classify degraded road markings, and looking at the percentage of wear, percentage of paint wear, the percentage of retroreflectivity coverage. So how much retro is over the whole of the marking, not just what the reading is. So you can see in this arrow here, you know, there are only certain sections of retroreflectivity there, and large areas where there aren't any retro. So this system that we're working on will be able to pick up that and will be able to give you information about that. So just not just knowing that the marking is there, but or what a particular retro reading is, it would show you how much of the area is actually giving that retro reading. And we're also working on being able to you give a QD rating. We're giving this day contrast rating that we've mentioned, but we want to relate that to QD, which is a bit more difficult on a mobile system because of ambient light, but we've worked on a way of being able to do that, and we're developing that system at the moment, and we'll be able to offer that you know, in the coming months. And we're also looking at, you know, for roadsters, which is particularly important for the UK market, being able to, if there is an issue, or if we're seeing from the count that we do when we're doing a standard survey, if we're seeing that there are some missing or not working, being able to go into the files and being able to bring up a photograph of a particular road stud, so you can see exactly what's happening, why it might be failing, if the eyes have come out, for example, on the 3M stud, or if the stick-on has come off, you'll be able to see where the issues are. And again, that helps to target the maintenance and target the maintenance planning to replace those that need to be replaced. And we're also looking at ways of being able to automatically classify the center lane markings. So I'm just going to run the video here. So you can see we're using artificial intelligence. We can actually automatically classify whether it's a straight arrow, left arrow, right arrow, whether it's text, for example. So you can build up a picture of what's actually in the roads. So we found in some cases that there isn't a record of exactly the symbols in the middle of the road and middle of the lane, and this can help build up that picture, build up a map of that. It's all GPS tagged, so you can see exactly what's where and what information, you know, is on your roads. So that's again something that we're working on, to automatically be able to classify the road markings, the center lane markings. Obviously, it's part of this, the benefit of doing these types of surveys and using this technology to you know, inspect lines rather than doing a visual inspection, for example, and giving you raw data to work on, is that you can build up a historical picture of what's happening on the roads. This is an example for, you know, from Ireland, where you can see over 3 years where the peaks and troughs were. Where it's been relined. You can just see this area here has obviously just been relined because the readings are higher. But it gives you a picture. You can pick out where the difficult areas are, for example, where the heavy wear areas are, whether it's a bend, for example, and maybe you know then that, you know, that needs to be maintained more often, or you need to maybe use a different material, a harder wearing material in a particular section. So it gives you the ability to be able to build up this picture and be more efficient in the maintenance that you're doing. And, you know, the reasons to assess road marking performance, just as a summary, really good line marking visibility saves lives, as we've seen, which is definitely the case. We all know that, and we all know that, you know, if the lines aren't there, it's very difficult to judge where we're going on the road. The advanced driving systems, lane keeping assist, and so on, all depend on good visibility of lines. And as we've seen, these are going to be standard on all vehicles by 2025. So we need to be able to comply and be able to provide the good quality lines for these systems, for them to be able to work properly and bring their road safety improvements. We also saw that on the CS126 there were requirements for, you know, increased requirements for checking and for visibility checks of lines and collecting data, which using a system like this gives you that ability to comply with those requirements. And we also believe that there's cost savings that can be had by measuring the retro first and then being able to plan your remarking. not necessarily not spending the money, but being able to target the money in the correct areas, so you're getting the maximum, benefit of the budget that you're spending. And using this historical picture helps to build up an idea of where the key areas are for maintenance, and helping you to build a planning. And you can see, make sure that the areas that should have been relined are still at the levels that they should be. There's also an element, of course, that you can performance contract monitoring to make sure that the lining is up to standard once it's been applied, and that you can do that independently of the road marking contractor, for example, so that you can make sure that everything is as per contract. So we believe there are lots of reasons for assessing road marking performance. The main one, obviously, being saving lives, and good quality lines really do reduce accidents. Just to give you an example of in Ireland, the National Roads Authority there, we've been doing the surveys there for every year since 2016. And over a 12-week period, we complete the complete network and measure all of the motorways, national, primary and secondary road network. So it's a reflective and the visual inspection. And we provide them with the report, and they get that historical analysis that we've just been looking at, which gives them a basis for planning all of their maintenance. And that's what they're using it for. That's what they really appreciate, is being able to plan more effectively and make sure that the roads are to the standard and to the safety levels that they're looking for. So I think that shows that it's appreciated by the roads authorities, because they can continue to do it, and they continue to build up this picture of the roads and what is happening on them. So we believe, as I say, it's a key element of road marking maintenance these days. Thank you for your time. I hope that was of interest and giving you some food for thought. Joe Turley is on the line, who's the CEO of Retrotech as well. We'll be happy to answer any questions. We do also have a short poll that we would appreciate if you would answer, just to give some help us to plan in the future and to give us some information. If you would kindly fill that out while we're answering some questions, that would be much appreciated. And I think we'll go through now any questions that have come up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike, for that. Yeah, you went through that pretty well. There's one or two questions that I'll answer rather than typing them in. All the information that's collected during the survey, it's all GPS and referenced with video images. So as you explained, there's 4 formats: CSV files, KML files, the maps, and videos. And those results are individually available, and then they're brought together in a software platform, an interactive software platform that you showed, the QuickView Pro. And those platforms, that information, surveys can be rerun with different thresholds as well. So, you may find that some roads will have different retro values or pass and fail values. And that's all customizable and can be done multiple times to help with predictive maintenance. So it can. The other question I have, it was asked, is how does it fit to a vehicle? Well, it fits to any vehicle that has the capability to take a center-mounted front tow bar. And believe it or not, there's a lot of vehicles, certainly commercial vehicles or most crew cabs can take, our vans can take these standard bars. And even if there's not a standard bar available, we operate with a company in the UK who actually can customize the bar to suit. But basically what it is, it's a 2-inch square center-mounted tow bar, and our system bolts straight into that and very easily set up and operational. And we've also designed a system where it can be taken off. The system can be removed for security reasons at night time and put in the boot, and then put back on the front of the vehicle the next day. And they're surveying very easily again, quickly, without minimum fuss. So, and the whole thing about this is making it very easy about for an operator, because surveying, anybody who does surveys will, I think we have a few surveyor people who are involved in the survey on the attending today. They understand the difficulties in actually physically doing surveys. And what we're trying to do is make it very easy for them to perform the survey with minimum interaction on the screen with the system. You press go, you press finish, unless there's some major developments on the road, for instance, roadworks or wet roads or dirt on the road, things like that. And the other thing is, so there's minimum interaction with the screen, so they can safely concentrate. And then the other thing is that they don't spend hours and hours downloading the data. That we've developed a very quick system that can be downloaded very fast onto a USB or directly onto a laptop, and then up, and you can see the results very fast. That's really where we've come across. It's about safety and making life for the operators and the users of our system, our technology. All right, that's all. I don't know how we're doing in our poll. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. We've got.
Just checking. Is there any more questions? Yeah, there's another one here about GPS and the if there's no GPS signal, for instance, in tunnels. Well, we use untethered. With our GPS system, we have just untethered network. I forget the term, I'm sorry. But basically what we do is the system is able to record the direction and speed and travel from A to B in a tunnel, for instance. And it will plot that. Once it gets a GPS signal again, it will replot that as the road curve, the curve of the road. So it's not a straight line. Again, that is very accurate as well. And our system is accurate to about 2 meters, 2.5 meters as well. So, okay, I think that's really all. I was expecting a bit more technical questions, but I haven't got any. But feel free, you're very free to contact either myself or Mike. Charlotte will stick up our details, I'm sure, and feel free, and she'll circulate a PDF of our presentation, or a link to it anyway, on our website as well. And feel free to ask us anything, or if you want to come back to us with anything.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone, for attending. We look forward to any further questions.